How dare you?
Why are you? How dare he always does this? Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. He plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, "Come on, come."
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what you wanted orange, an orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at a gas station.
Own your truth. You know, it was difficult. It was at first. I mean, you just cornered me like that and everything, but you know, it's a little liberating now to know I can like Star Wars in more ways than I ever imagined. Dave Filoni is the savior of Star Wars. KK is doing an amazing job. The people out there are just blind and can't see it. So yes, thank you. I can stop lying now.
What? What the fuck?
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 86. And this week, oh my God, we had nothing. No Ahsoka, no Bad Batch, no nothing. Nothing new. Nothing of Star Wars. Well, maybe not. But at least no show reviews. So I'm a happy camper. I don't know about you, but that's where I'm at. I'm a happy camper. Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Fractured Filter, and with me, as always, my buddy, my patriot, and all this nonsense, this madness of a world, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm just so excited that we haven't had to watch Ahsoka.
I know. It's so nice. It's so freeing and so liberating. Yes.
My Discord's not working.
Of course it's not. While you're fiddle farting around with Discord, I guess I'll just quickly go to the chat. Hello, chat, you lovely bunch. Skirmitar was in early. At 5 a.m. even, as a matter of fact. Good for you, mate. Saying oi. Oi. Crimson Raptor saying hello there. Hello back at you. Well, been a while. Wait, yeah, it feels like it's been a while. Jason Fox from 540 Studio. Hello.
Well, I'm
Wookie. Sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
Wookie be bad saying early. Yep. Early this week, because Hitman's gonna have to bounce at 5, right on the dot. So we got to start a little early this week. Sparta Chris, hello, sir. The day is still young. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But we're gonna be fun today. No? At least that's my plan, is to kind of maybe be a little devoid of Star Wars today. Just kind of get away from it. And then Crimson Raptor was saying, I feel so empty without very long conversations about Ahsoka. I know, isn't it? It's so empty, and you feel without meaning anymore. But anyways, with that aside, how are you today, Hitman? Are you doing good? Are you feeling?
No, I'm really upset with you. I've never been so mad at you in my life.
Why? What am I doing now?
I can't pull up Discord because my Discord is not working. Because
that's not my fault. That's a you problem.
Posted in the chat. No, because what did you say we were doing? What were we doing to prepare for this week? What were we doing? What were we watching?
Absolutely. I didn't say we were watching anything.
You did.
What were we supposed to be watching?
You did.
Were we supposed to watch something? What did I say?
Yeah. Check your Discord, and why don't you share the screen in the show notes, and you'll see what you said we were supposed to be watching.
You know, I don't know where he gets this imagination that I said we were going to be watching anything. If you got receipts, brother, I'd like you to present them, because I do not recall saying we were going to watch this. The Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation.
You sat there on your throne of lies last week and said we are going to watch this. And what did I do?
You watched it.
Spent 48 minutes. Did you really not watch this?
No, I did not watch.
I'm going to lose my mind if you did not watch this.
I did not watch this. I did not make that such a promise or say that we would watch this last week.
Where's Sheepster? Where's Sheepster?
Sir, do you recall me saying at all that we would be watching Lego Summer Vacation? Can you confirm or deny this? Because I don't, unless I am just completely blanked out. I don't remember this.
Where's he at?
Well, I
The
just
Tard
yelled it
Wrangler?
at him, so I just yelled it at the Tard Wrangler. Hopefully, he jumps in the chat or something. But I don't recall ever saying yes. We're gonna be watching Star Wars Summer Vacation.
You
Good
said
Lord.
that you were so excited to be done with Ahsoka that we were going to do a palate cleanse and we were going to watch Finn's Vacation.
I thought palate cleanse, like we were gonna be coming back to this nice and clean, and we don't have to. We could talk about good stuff or fun or just anything other than Ahsoka. Bruh.
Where's Wookiee?
I don't know. He was in the chat.
Losing my mind.
Chris says, when Dave Filoni mutated Lucas' character into this, I don't think he planned for the show would have been so bad. Yeah. He's just saying, I'm sorry, Jay Hitman. Yikes. I don't know. He this is his idea of a palate cleanse, apparently. Not my
compared
idea.
to Ahsoka? Absolutely.
I thought we talked about like rewatching like the prequels or something for a palate.
You said
cleanse.
summer
Not
vacation.
Not
You
summer
said summer
vacation.
vacation.
I want some receipts on this. I want evidence that I said this. I have said some crazy shit since this damn show has started.
You have.
Freaking Brad has me on video saying some things.
Filoni's the savior of Star Wars, yes, or Kathleen Kennedy.
My clip of me saying while playing Fable. Damn it. Duke Dill and I having, I think, mental breakdowns, claiming to love Filoni and Star Wars and Disney Star Wars.
You know,
it's not been a good time. What's that?
It's been a week since Ahsoka's been over, and people are still talking about how great this show was, and how
they've been
trying
You
remember it was 2 episodes ago where I asked you, I was like, does Filoni have some type of weird obsession with Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings?
Right.
And then, and this was brought to my attention. I don't know if Bradley posted it. Somebody posted it. So if I get the name wrong, I apologize to you guys. But there's a comparison between the Mortis god statue and then the 2 kings going into I forget the rivers of, I don't know where they're at, but there's so many parallels between this show. It further just proves the point. You know, everybody, I'm sure there's people out there who may watch the show, may not watch the show. We appreciate those who watch the show, but might think that we're just beaten up and we're just bullies. And like, how dare you? Just because he goes to, Salt Lake for FurryCon doesn't mean he likes animals, and you shouldn't call him a trash panda, right?
The biggest of trash pandas, in fact.
He is the biggest trash panda. In fact, he is the mother of trash pandas that wears his stupid, first of all, can we just touch on the fact that I've never seen a cowboy that wears a cowboy hat and New Balance white sneakers or Vans, one of the two.
Well, that's why he's a Kmart cowboy. He's not like we don't call him a legitimate cowboy. He's just the Kmart cowboy. That's why.
But this is why he's the trash panda, because it's like nothing is new. Like, he can't come up with anything new. It is literally he like everybody, Star Wars theory, claims that he's I just date, and I'm not going on a rant with him. Okay, I promise you I'm not, but I'm saying this for context. He sits there. He sits there from his chair that he didn't buy, and we'll sit here and say that he trusts. Like, this is it. Who shared this? This was the one I'm talking about. Exactly.
Yeah, this was I shared it from Anna, the Star Wars girl.
Okay.
I retweeted it. I retweeted it. Yeah, and she was
it's like, boy howdy, would it not be great if you and I could get a job at DLF and just copy, everybody
other intellectual properties and claim it's our own.
Yes, and claim it to be your own. This is the sad, this is the state in which this is where we're at. This is where we're at.
Hang on. I hate to stop you, Chris. That's insulting. How dare you say I sound like Joe Biden? Somebody kick him from the chat. I want him out of here.
Come on,
sorry,
man.
All right, Sakari, continue. DLF, getting jobs, the copying homework.
Yeah, this is where we're at. Like, where's Peter where's Peter Jackson?
Where's WB to sue them?
WB needs money. They haven't made a good movie in probably, I don't know, 22 and a half years. They should be jumping on the opportunity to sue somebody that has, this is just so sad. Theories Who? You want to go? Where are we at? I was just trying to go through the chat really quick, but no, this is just asinine. It's so stupid, and it's like, why do you get so mad at, man? You surely know it's gonna happen. Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I should not be mad because I should already know that this happened. You know, this is happening, or this is happened, or whatnot. But
right.
Look, do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see this?
I see this. I saw it. I watched it.
It's like
it was insane.
I know you watched it, but it's
we called it out. I mean, the whole Ahsoka the White thing was so stupid too.
But I called it. I said
that was even shown at the end of Rebels too, and it's like, are you kidding me with this right now? Really?
But we're doing this. Been out for. I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, I called this. I was like, what is the weird obsession? I said, does he have an obsession with Peter Jackson? Because I can see the parallels between. Because I'm a Lord of the Rings guy, right? Like, obviously, I know way more about Star Wars than I do Lord of the Rings, but I'm still a Lord of the Rings guy, and I can see the parallels between it. And I'm sure anybody who could see and is cultured and knows anything about Lord of the Rings could see those parallels. And it's like. How does he get away with it? Where are the copyright infringements? Like, Disney would be the first person. Like, remember when OG was doing her art, and I think Disney tried to sue her.
It's changed up just enough. It's changed up just enough for them to get away with it.
Those shysters, every one of them, every single one of them. I know it's a kid's show. We shouldn't cuss, but it's just.
Let me go through this really quick. Crimson Raptor saying, suddenly Fractured saying Filoni is the savior of Star Wars makes so much sense. Hey,
it does.
Static, hey man, how's it going? Saying, what the hell is this? I thought you started at 3. No, I'm pretty sure I said 3:30. Early and retarded. Yep. Crimson Raptor, go on, Hitman, and go on and rant, Hitman. Do it. Star Wars Theory forgets who tried to strike him for his fan film. He's trying to jump. He's from what I've known, he's
was it not
been
Disney
a Filoni
that hit him with the strike?
Yeah, he's always been a Filoni fanboy. So,
but that's so stupid. That's like saying, I can't even. It's so stupid. I can't even make an analogy. Like.
You dog-faced pony soldier. Theory is compromised. He always has been.
But here's the thing, though.
Fractured has one up on Biden as long as he can make it up a flight of stairs. Yes, I can. I can make it up a flight of stairs.
It's him going down the stairs, people that you need to be worried about. I have to
go up and down a flight of stairs every morning as I go to work, and I leave the house. So I have that up on him. And then Chris saying, remember, when you like it, it's just a stupid kids movie with space wizards and laser swords. When they like it, you're a bigot for not liking it. That's 100%.
Yeah.
Funny how that works out. But yeah,
I don't know if he's always been compromised. I 1000% think he's no better than Zahn and everybody else who's bent the knee to the mouse. And I will say this on record at 3:52 p.m. that Neo2s from Star Wars Theory has bent the knee to the mouse, and he's taken that money. He may not be directly getting, or he might actually get paid.
Hail back at you, brother.
But is welcome Jason. I think he's you may not be able to make the claim that he's getting paid from Disney, but he's getting that money from his fan base, which are 1000% in line with Disney. So his money that he's getting, his income is coming from Disney show. He's a Disney show. He is. And there was one point in time years ago where I told you about him, and I was like, yeah, this guy's knowledgeable, and he is knowledgeable, right? But he doesn't even toe the line anymore. Let me retract my statement. He still
has tried to like be judgmental, but he still gives the episodes high scores.
The highest score.
He still gives it like 7, 8, the episode stuff like that. So
he shilled out so hard that episode. It was the Bad Batch episode where Sheev came back. I thought that dude was going to have a blowout in his pants from the back, not the front. From the Kids a Kid show, from the back, not the front. You sicko. Because he was so excited. He's about lost his lunch that he just ate. He's like, no. He sounded like Vader when Vader found out he killed Padme. He's like, no, it's Sheev. It's not so, eh? Don't get me started on him. Like, the people that refuse to take a stance, like, I have no respect for. Take a stance. Sit there and get on camera and tell me, you know what? Just say, like, I do enjoy Disney Star Wars, and I am taking money from people who like Disney Star Wars. Just take a stance, but don't sit here and spoon feed me this line of BS that you love Star Wars and you defend George and you love everything that George did, but then sit here and say that Filoni's the savior of Star Wars. You make no sense. That makes about as much sense as you wiping before you crap. It makes no sense to wipe your butt before you crap. No sense at all. Well, no, it makes no sense. It's like wiping with a National Geographic magazine. Good luck. I'll pray for you. It's not gonna stupid. Who would wipe their butt with a National Geographic magazine? Wipe it with silk. It makes no sense. And you brought it up. You brought Star. Don't be mad at me. You sat there and brought Star Wars theory up, so you're equally at fault for this rant. Brother, you did. You just sat there and brought him up. Yes, you did. You're equally as guilty as I am. You're at fault. You own it. Own it. You brought it up. You opened this can of worms, brethren. Star Wars theory. What a ridiculous name, Star Wars theory.
Well, like Chris does say, his whole channel is wrapped around Star Wars. He has to, quote unquote, like Disney Star Wars and be positive in order to keep things running. Yeah, but we already see other channels like Laura, OG Star Wars, and them like she's wrapped around Star Wars, but she isn't having to like anything that is Disney Star Wars, and she keeps it directly to
that's what.
George Lucas Star Wars and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a distinction a bit, but it's still wrapped up in Star Wars.
I will further piggyback on that. And like I know, like Chris and Jason have their stuff. Who's the bearded guy? Oh, Static Brethren, Bearded Brethren. Like we all have our channels, right? But we are not reliant on the very people that we disagree with to make us faint. Like. I guess all what does it say? All PR is good PR, or whatever.
Yeah, there is no such thing as bad PR.
Like we don't have to remain. Like I could care. Like I understand what Chris is saying, but like absolutely not. Like and that's my problem with him. But... That's my problem with him. He can't take a stand. He can't take a stand he can't draw the line and figure out where he wants to stand in regards to it. He will do whatever he needs to do to be profitable. And then somebody would make the argument, well, you're dumb if you're not. You obviously don't believe in capitalism and get him there because, he's doing what he needs to do to be profitable. No, that's not what he's doing. He's compromising his beliefs. He's compromising what he says he loves. Because I don't understand physically how you can like both. I don't understand how you can sit here and say you are an EU loyalist, you're a George Lucas loyalist, you're a Star Wars, like in general, like you are not a follower because that makes it sound like it's a cult, but you are a fan of everything that George did, and then to make the claim that I like and think that Filoni's doing a great job, and I'm bought into what he's doing. They are oil and water. There is no comparison. And if you sit here and you try to spoon feed me this assertion or this claim that I didn't go to university. You sit here and make this claim that they're both and that he's fulfilling what George wanted. You are not intelligent. You do not know what you're talking about. There's like
a hard
it's night
line
and day.
stance from Hitman.
It's night and day. And he will, and that's the most frustrating thing, because he'll sit there and defend George and say all this stuff about George, but then, you know, and I guess, like, if that's all you care about is money, then, like, he's good on you, right? That's what you're doing, right? But that's my biggest issue with him, is he compromises and he can't take a stance, and he's lining his pocketbooks with his fan. Like, basically, he's allowing the people that he should disagree with to line his pocketbooks, to buy his Lamborghini, to buy his, you know, his however, you know, $1 million home in Toronto, like, whatever. Like, I'm not, like, good on you, right, for you know, doing your channel, right? But the part where I would, you know, I disagree with it is your stance on what you believe. Because of the thing that you have, you can't sit there and say, "Well, I have a belief." No, you can't, because you're double dipping, and everybody knows who likes to go to parties or family events. You don't double dip. You don't do it.
Don't double dip that.
You don't double dip in relationships. You don't double dip when it comes to food. You don't double dip in your marriage. You probably
100%.
May not be double dipping when it comes to jobs. If your boss finds out you got another job, like, you know, like, you just don't do it. Take a stance. I'm done. That's all I'm going to say about Neo2s.
Double dip. Don't double dip. Noted.
I'm making a shirt. There's a lot of ideas I have rattling in the old head right now, right? Being, you know, they're consistent about being inconsistent. Let's go pumped. And don't double dip. Top 3. Look out for product March 2024. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Absolutely.
Don't double dip. Yes. Assertation.
Yeah, I saw, yeah. Assertation. Well, like he said, Crimson Raptor said, he clickbait his titles to make it seem like he's either coming clean or realizing he was wrong for liking Ahsoka. Then his video is all Disney apologist. I can feel your anger. It gives you focus.
Oh, man.
Stronger.
If you ever hear me, maybe not necessarily contradict myself, but if you ever hear me say that, if you ever hear me just, or see me being like that turkey, just call me out, man. But, like, that's just I don't see how you can do it. It's the same thing with Star Trek or Star Wars. I have never met anybody outside probably you, Greg, and Tim, who like both. There's never a thing. I've never met anybody who likes Tupac and Biggie. It's one or the other.
It's a thing.
It is. It doesn't. So, and he's the only person who I've seen who claims to like Disney and actual Star Wars, which is like, I can't even come up with it. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, contradicting his earlier videos with trying to reconcile with Disney Star Wars.
Just come out and say, like, you know, I made a mistake. I actually don't like that. I like your money. If he came out and said, I don't like Disney Star Wars, I just like your money, and I'm doing these videos to get your money, like, can work with that, right?
Yeah. Chris is saying, yes, but compared to OG or some of the rest of us, he's writing the shills even when you can tell he's not happy. Oh, yeah. What was it like when he was recently with
Maul?
They're gonna resurrect Darth Maul, and then, like, when it's revealed what the magic was, like, you can just see how dead his soul went.
He was dead inside. You saw he was dead.
Oh my god.
He's like, I got hyped for this.
Yep.
I just want to be clear. Like, I could care less that he's worth what he's worth, and I don't care that he has all this fan base, and I don't care that he has 32 different channels. Like,
yeah, all the theory channels.
I just
he's got.
just be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I am being honest. I like them both. Well, you can't. It doesn't make sense. You sound you're contradicting yourself because you like they're it's what you. Oh God.
Was saying you're 100% right, Hitman, preaching to the choir, brother.
I'm sorry, guy. I don't mean to go on a rant, but they just is the one thing that irritates me, and it's this, like I said, it's little fact that like years ago, Fractured, when we were starting to talk about this show, I think I asked you, I told you about the guy. I said, yeah, I think this guy. He have you followed him? Have you heard of it? He seems knowledgeable.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh.
And Fractured gave me a look. Like a sriracha fart just escaped his butthole. But I didn't know now what I knew then. Like, I'm telling you, like, I remember, I can tell you where we were at.
That's
we were
gonna have to be a t-shirt at some point.
Listen,
sriracha
I
fart.
can tell you, where I can tell you the time and the place where this conversation took place at work. You know where it was at.
Yeah, I know. And yes,
and he was all like,
do.
It wasn't even like the Christian band like ooh. No, it was like I just farted and it came out and there was sustenance.
It was something wrong and nasty.
Sustenance just came out, but I didn't know. I defended the guy back then because I was like,
when Taco Bell hits,
when Taco Bell, Chipotle, and sushi. But I mean, back to more after that, you really didn't watch Lego Star Wars?
No, I didn't.
You are. If I could reach to this computer,
you didn't watch it. You're so full of shit.
Not anymore because I rectified that issue before the show. As I was watching, it's actually funny. Sorry, I was doing my daily Constitution, watching Star Wars theory videos.
Chris saying I followed him in the beginning, but the more I listened to him, listening to his theory videos, how outlandish they are, how crazy they were, they never seemed reasonable or grounded. I couldn't anymore. I mean, I like sometimes fan videos can be fun and stuff like that. Theorizing and just kind of coming up with what ifs can be fun, but yeah, I heard some of his recent one, I think, and it just like I was like, where the freak is this coming from? And it didn't sound plausible at all. It just was,
dude. Static is 100%.
Ahsoka is objective, slow and boring. Anyone who watched more than the first episode should be institutionalized.
Well, let me tell you this.
I mean,
if that's the case,
Bradley and I especially, I think we should have been probably institutionalized the way we were going about it.
I'm so glad that I didn't watch your guys' streams when I was at work because I probably would have checked myself in.
You might have had fun. You might have had fun listening to us.
Probably. We should honestly, with that logic, we should have been institutionalized when we were back with Book of Boba, the episode where they were doing the spinneroonie. Remember the spinneroonie? Please tell me you clipped that.
I need to probably.
It's on YouTube.
I need to go and clip a lot of things. Like I need to get the what was it? So dull and boring or whatever from Andor.
Yeah, I just remember the Booker T spinneroonie.
Yeah, the spinneroonie. Oh, that's what I should do too. I should put the Booker T entrance theme on.
Yes. Can you dig it, sucker? Oh man. God. Or your favorite character, Peggy, and her Twilight boyfriend, the mayor's assistant.
Oh God.
The Jawa Slayer.
The Jawa Slayer. Yeah, that's one way.
That's your favorite character. Yeah. You ever wonder if like all these shows have like how many brain cells have we lost doing this?
Probably too many, and more than we should have ever subjected ourselves to.
It's like how much helium can you inhale before you lose brain cells, and then I would compare that to how many episodes can we watch of these shows? Which would be worse, inhaling helium or from a brain cell loss perspective, or watching these shows? The only we do get exercise though with it, mental exercise, because we sit here and we try to figure out where the shows are going.
Yeah, we try and break it down when we try and find how we can, logically and
it's
everything like
okay,
put together our arguments for
Omega,
how bad it is.
And this is going to irritate just so many people. It's like, okay, well, if Omega's supposed to be a direct clone of Jango and Jango was a male, how is Omega a female? And then we should do the gif of the girl with the calculus going across her face. That's just one example. And how many weeks did we rack our brain around that, trying to figure out like how this asinine logic even makes any sense?
Yep.
Well, Django, you're and the response is, well, you're putting that's gender's fluid. Gender can change. It can be a male one day and a female. There is no male or female. It's fluid, and that's why Django, or whatever it was, Omega. That's the response. That's the response. It's like, well, you're looking at it from your
well, it's like I kept saying, it's no longer a clone. It's a freaking basically genetic experiment at that point.
No, but they set they set her up. They said that she was the last.
Imply that it's a copy of the original.
Yes, Mr. Sherman. Everything makes sense. Or what does he say? Oh, everything stinks. Yes, Mr. Sherman. Everything.
Oh yeah, hang on.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Well, outside that.
Yeah, everything that happened in the series could have been summed up in one short.
Did you think?
Yeah,
so
probably.
This would be fun. Did you think that Ahsoka was going to be worse than it was? Or do you think it was going to be better than what people were saying? And were you surprised how it ended, or were you? So like,
no, It was probably about right for how it ended, just being completely stupid.
Before we started this, though, do you think it was going to be as bad as it was, or did you expect worse?
I mean, I don't know. Like, almost, it kind of turned into a whole other thing of like. It's kind of like what the people that went through WandaVision, they too were like coming up with all these fan theories and stuff like that, predictions that were way better than the actual show was, and that was kind of what we kind of got ourselves wrapped up in is, and giving Felony too much credit, like he was actually going to put together a halfway decent show. I think so, and like it was like I said, like it was, we came up with all these little theories and stuff like that for who was going to be what, and I mean, I was like, okay, yeah, that Inquisitor is probably going to be Darkseid Ezra. No, he turns out to just be a freaking Dathomir fart.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I really don't. Cause it's like do you think before eight episodes ago, before we started watching this, it was an epic waste of time
for sure? But
did you expect major waste of time? That was for sure. I honestly partly expected there to be more story to it, but I did not expect there to be that much filler. Weirdly enough, like I thought this would have been tightened up, but
you think they were right on par with Thrawn? The Thrawn that we got? Did you think that it was good? Did you expect anything different than the Thrawn that we got?
I didn't expect them to be so pudgy.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting a dad bod Thrawn. I know we
got a dad bod. We got a dad bod.
We had dad bod Boba Fett. Yeah, but I was not expecting dad bod Thrawn. I honestly wasn't sure what I was going to be expecting with some of the characters like Sabine and Hera, but I
I think
thought
it's
they were
worse.
I thought they were gonna be closer to their characters, but I was wrong. Like they were way off.
Oh, I think
The
this
only
is
character
worse.
that was their own character was Chopper.
Yeah.
You know, it just there was stuff I wasn't expecting. There was stuff was expecting. It really needed to be trimmed down though,
Yeah.
because it was just a lot of filler. And a lot of like unnaturally or just artificially extended scenes just because of also like how they were talking to each other. It was like line and then pause, line, pause, line, pause. It was just like, and like the pauses were just so long. It just was stretching everything unnecessarily out. So yeah, also Chopper and Ho Yang were the only decent characters, background droid characters. I would say Ho Yang was a lot better than Chopper and the rest of the characters, and at least the one like decent scene we got out of the whole show was between Ho Yang and Ezra, but that was only because they were it was like kind of catching Ezra up on the past a bit.
Hold on, you don't
But
think
even
it
that
was
all felt unnecessary? I mean, well, not unnecessary. It just all felt like so out of place considering he should, like I said when we reviewed it, he should fucking Ezra should have been like on the run, like hunted 24/7 almost. Like Thrawn should have been out to gut the kid, and instead he was just hanging out with the teenage mutant midget turtles. So
You mean to tell me that was a better moment than Thrawn not knowing that Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan?
God. Oh my god. Thrawn was so goddamn stupid in this.
That one, or even the part where Ray Stevenson's character what did he say? He's like, Anakin always talked very highly of you. What did he say? What was the line that he used
when
to
they first
Ahsoka?
when they fought
It was an Attack of the Clone moment.
Oh god.
What was it? May have not been that, but it was definitely an homage to Attack of the Clones. But you just, I don't know, man. I thought I had a feeling since they didn't cast Gary Oldman that Thrawn was going to be bad, but I did not think. Here's the thing: this show has given me a.
I see why Obi-Wan went for her. Yes.
Yeah. This show has given me a newfound love of Rebels.
I mean, it's funny how these things can do that. Yes.
And I think
hey,
this
Red
is
Hoodwinked, how's it going?
Hey,
Skywalker spoke very highly of you.
Yeah.
God.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what he said.
I think that yeah, he's not sure either, but it's pretty much along those lines.
Yeah,
it was along those lines basically. And we got no clarification on that. We got no follow-up. We got nothing explaining how, where, when, who, what, how that Balin and Anakin ever met. Like nothing to give us context to.
We got about as much clarification in this situation than we did about Andor's sister.
Oh God.
I mean,
oh yeah, Andor's so great. The first major plot thread that we get freaking brought up for Andor, and it gets dropped immediately. That show, goddamn. Chris saying, plus someone brought up the fact that Ho Yang, the greatest repository of Jedi knowledge, is running around at Ahsoka instead of helping Luke. Yeah, I know we talked about that for sure.
And where has Luke been? Where is Luke?
He's fucked off on his planet and supposedly rebuilding a Jedi temple, but nobody wants to give him a call and be like, hey bro, we got some hang on, Crimson Raptor, I got a clip for that. Hang on. Yeah, where is it? There we go.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Because otherwise, you're absolutely right. That's what you're
You know what?
supposed to do.
The other thing that's interesting, and again, this is where I struggle with this whole timeline thing. But if Ahsoka was such a prominent character, as Filoni has said, why wasn't she in the original trilogy?
That's the whole thing.
Where was she at? Where was she at in Return of the Jedi? Clearly she's not dead.
Yep.
She's
Tenant Bot should be with Luke, not Ahsoka. Yeah, 100%.
So,
yep. Yeah, they just completely dropped that plot. I fell out laughing about it, and everyone says it's good writing. Thank you. That was like my biggest point of contention when we were going through that stupid series. Like, where's his sister? Why is he going after his sister? His whole thing, he went to a brothel and he found out about supposedly or at least somebody that resembled his sister, and he never followed up on it even after the stupid heist thing. Like, what the fuck?
and we still don't know where the 80 million credits were. When?
Yeah, Lucas wanted her dead. We know. Yep. But she never, like, it is. She was never thought up. She should have never been Anakin's apprentice. He should have been dead. I know how Wookiee feels about the whole thing with it, but
How does Wookiee feel?
The way he looks at it is how it would have been. It's a glimpse into how Anakin might have been with Luke and Leia in training and stuff like that. And I get that, I do. But like it is in the I'll always go to the Revenge of the Sith novelization of Anakin lamenting about how the only individual that refers to him as master is C-3PO.
Was it 80 million credits that were missing?
Yeah. Rhino keeps bringing it up enough on his streams whenever Andor gets brought up, so I remember.
Dude, check your Twitter. Hilarious.
Check my Twitter.
Sometimes I make myself laugh.
Oh. You dork.
see if he says anything. Oh man, it was even funny. A week.
I love that you took a picture of it with your phone.
Shut up.
Oh god.
I told you I'm computer illiterate. You're the one that does all the computer stuff. It's fine.
I know that it's okay.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. He'll enjoy it. He's asleep eating his McDonald's.
It's all fucktarded. Yep. You should have best served as Plo Koon's Padawan. That's what I've heard. Yeah. That and Luthen's shop shouldn't exist with all those artifacts. No way the Emperor would allow it on Coruscant of all places. I know, that's what I was saying.
Did we not talk about this holocron? Don't you think he would know holocrons?
The freaking holocrons, the Sith armor suits, the freaking the Mortis tablets, all of it.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I get you want like references in the background, but you can't have such important items like that would draw attention beyond just being an Easter egg. An Easter egg should be something, yes, for the fans to see, but it should be a little more innocuous that would not be so like drives me up a wall. Ahsoka should never have been Anakin's Padawan, etc. And the Clone Wars should never have happened. That show was a mistake. Agreed.
Did we get confirmation that they did, like, he did take from Death Troopers?
I think so. Dude at work was saying Andor season 2 is filming people on Facebook. I swear. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Did we get confirmation that he did do World Between Worlds?
That was all. What you mean the Ahsoka stuff? World
Yeah.
Between Worlds. That was
Do
all
we
in her
get
head.
confirmation that these are dog tags that he's wearing that looks like chainmail?
That never got confirmed or denied.
Do we have
Chris saying,
confirmation?
Plus,
Yeah.
plus a canceled episode of TCW. Anakin explained why he never spoke of Ahsoka after she left the Order. It was too painful for him, but yet she was so important to everything. Ugh.
I'm very curious in season 2 if Script Trooper's theory is going to come true about them putting some type of ruin in her headband.
Wait, what?
He had this thing. It was like putting a diamond or a rune in her headband, because when you look at her headband, there's a piece of that where you could put. Looks like you could. Did you ever play Diablo? You remember you could put runes in your weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put a rune in her headband.
So Anakin put a rune in her
No,
headband?
the Script Trooper was. I think he posted something along the lines of like you could put some type of something. I don't know. I'd have to pull up his tweet, but it made sense because if you look at her headband, you can put like a diamond in her headband or something. Kind of like how Gandalf put a diamond in the staff when he was in Moria.
I thought he just lit up his staff. I didn't see him put anything
No,
in there.
there
It's
was
been a while since I've
diamond.
paid attention to it.
Crystal in it. These are acceptable terms to lose at. Like, shut up. That's something Thrawn would not say. These are acceptable terms. She's an admirable or formidable opponent. Shut up.
Oh, well, I guess Wookie is saying there's no news of it. There's a bunch of fake Facebook articles. Gotcha.
Facebook is not fake.
It's pretty fake. Just as fake as Twitter.
Fake. It's not fake. That's where I get all my stuff from.
She should have disappeared into the ether, maybe popping up with the early rebellion and being killed off by Vader. Perfect ending for Master and Apprentice. I mean, she should have died on Malachor when they fought. Yeah. But Filoni can't let his jailbait waifu get away. And with a wife like his, I'm sure he needs that waifu at all costs.
Yeah.
Going back over this, it's just so frustrating. It's just like, God damn these shows. They're just so horrible. Wookie saying I had to school the Disney girls. She thought Ahsoka was a gray Jedi because her fucking hell.
A gray Jedi? She is a gray Jedi based off this show.
Gray Jedi don't exist.
It does in this show. You can say that.
I hate you.
It's actually, look at her clothing. It's actually not white. It looks gray.
No, they were gray, and then she became Ahsoka the White.
I don't know.
Apparently, her taking a dip in the ocean was called for completely new attire. Make her Ahsoka the White. Crimson Raptor had rather eat Taco Bell, Chipotle, and gas station sushi.
Bro,
let's go.
I'm telling you. Did I tell you I found sushi at the gas station?
Why on God's green earth would you do that?
Did I tell you this? Oh man, I almost bought it too, but then I was like, I didn't want worms
Oh, you
coming
saw
out.
that?
I didn't want to poop worms.
Oh God, Jesus Christ,
dude! I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. It was 1000% California roll from the gas station. $4 too, man. Cheaper than any other grocery store you'll find sushi at. That's why I was tempted, dude. I'm gonna save $6 on this thing.
You scare me sometimes.
I tell you what, let's do a live opening of it. Unboxing of the sushi.
You are just so.
No? I thought it was funny.
I'm not saying it's not funny. I'm just
You take the first
Jesus.
bite. You take the first bite.
Crimson Raptors game.
Yeah, man, that's oof.
So do we just want to keep going over this shit? Because I do have a topic on Ahsoka.
Yeah. I mean, we got 30 minutes.
I don't know. I'm debating if I want to keep going after you leave.
I mean, what I could do is I'll just join via mobile.
From bounding into comics, Ahsoka finale viewership data claims it lost nearly a third of its audience. Close to that. Down over 40% compared to The Mandalorian season 3 finale. Newly released viewership data for Dave Filoni's Ahsoka series. That's just reiterating that. Samba TV recently shared that the series finale for Ahsoka only drew in 863,000 U.S. households over a 6-day period following its release. The company posted on X the finale of Ahsoka landed on Disney Plus last week to 863K U.S. households watching. Older millennials tuned in at the highest rate to watch whether Thrawn made it off Peridia. All I hear is Druidia from freaking Spaceballs. And then there's the from X, the 863K. This is down 337,000 U.S. households compared to the show's premiere viewership data from Samba TV. The company reported the show brought in 1.2 million U.S. households when the first episode premiered back in August. That's a decline of nearly a third of its audience, specifically 28%. So this X post from Samba TV says the latest new Star Wars series, Ahsoka, finally hit screens with 1.2 million U.S. households. Did they just go? Oh, yeah, they just went over that. Okay, cool. Ahsoka finale viewership is also significantly down from the Mandalorian season 3 finale. According to Samba TV, the Mandalorian season 3 concluded with 1.4 million U.S. households tuning in to watch in its first 5 days on Disney Plus. That's a decline of over 500,000 households. More specifically, it is a loss of 537,000 households. That's the decline of 38%. I'm glad somebody else has this here to freaking do all this numbering crap, because California public schools. Not only did Ahsoka seemingly lose a third of its viewership from its premiere to its finale and perform significantly worse compared to Mandalorian season 3, but analyst Valiant Renegade also pointed to Samba TV's assertion that the show's core audience was older millennials. He explained why this data point is significant. Quote, older millennials tuned in at the highest rate that should have some alarm bells going off. Those older millennials they are referring to are the ones that grew up with the prequel trilogies. Guys like me, the Gen Xers, were still into the prequels when they came out. But we were largely in our 20s at that point. Our experience growing up was far more closely tied to George Lucas's original trilogy, as well as the merchandise purchases that we made by the billions. Further quote, but the problem is that there's all the younger demographic. Disney doesn't seem to be pulling them in. That means their audience is not only shrinking, but seems to be aging out, he asserted. Further quote, the true power and wealth of Star Wars always lay in the fact that it would continue to cross generation lines, he stated. You had everybody back from older Americans that were born during the Great Depression to the baby boomers to the Gen Xers, and yes, even the millennials got into Star Wars, which drove them to the prequels, although they weren't really adults yet. But if now we're to believe Samba TV's measurement system here, then that means the generations behind the millennials, those in maybe Gen Z, well, they're not showing up. And if that's true, that means that Disney has broken the chain of Star Wars from generation to generation, Valiant Renegade said. Quote, but even with that, where are the Gen Xers? They're obviously not watching the show. They're the ones like me and so many others in my generation that feel like Disney has just abandoned us altogether. There's nothing out there from Disney Star Wars that is appealing to us, and we're the generation that made Star Wars the biggest multi-billion intellectual property that ever was, he opined. So yeah, that's the whole numbers on the, but I mean, like, he's saying he's a millennial, so he's making himself sound the way that was going too was sounding older than he actually is.
Right.
But, I mean, yeah, like it is. We for the place that we work, we've seen the toy sales. They aren't exactly firing off very well. How many clearance toys do we see and stuff like that? Even people posting those clearance toy pictures and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. And that was kind of the thing. That was kind of what George used to help keep himself independent and stuff like that too. So, but nobody's buying these new characters. Nobody wants these new characters. They've generally seen sometimes better.
Well, somebody
for the, but I mean, for viewership, this is Star Wars. The thing is, like, this is the other thing that's been talked about for Star Wars is that Star Wars has been mainly known as a movie property, not a television show. There's been there was like the Tartakovsky Clone Wars for in between Attack of the Clones to kind of keep people satiated with that. But I mean, yeah, it wasn't that kind of franchise. It was a movie franchise. And they've tanked that aspect of it though with their sequel trilogy. So, but sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
No, I was just trying to think who somebody said this last show, or maybe I read it in a tweet, but somebody was saying that like the way that they're marketing the toys now is more adult style toys than there are kid style toys, like with the black label and everything. So it's not like geared towards.
Yeah.
I don't know where I forget who. I think it was a tweet that I read, but like, I mean, there are like obviously kids toys out there, but it's also very interesting too because it's like there's oversaturation of like, Kenner doing the black label and so. But again, like I think just the characters are crap. Who's gonna buy Rey? Like, outside the
nobody was buying Rey. Nobody was buying Rose Tico.
Right. Outside the one guy on the Halcyon Star Cruiser that was literally losing it was like, get him, Rey. We love you, Rey. Who was 1000% paid, or he just actually two things. He either was paid to say that, or he actually loves Rey and has posters, has like the old school Backstreet Boys and NSYNC posters in his room of Rey.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They're
they're crap characters. Who's buying Rose Tico?
Nobody was.
Who's like the most annoying? Like, I would rather like Babu Frick was a better character than her. Like, just absolutely terrible, right? Like, who's buying these toys? Thank goodness they haven't made a Mara Jade one, because if they had, I'd probably buy it. But that's not the point. So, but these numbers, like, are they accurate or are they not accurate? Because I don't trust anything that any type of numbers that Disney puts out, because they're all skewed and there's no objectivity to the numbers. Like I think
I'm kind of hard pressed to.
We were talking to Wookiee. So that's the thing. If I pull up Disney Plus and I go to a show, does that count as a view? Or does it play for 1 second and that's like, what do you consider views? Because if you sit here and say Ahsoka had 200 billion views because 200 billion people opened an app, that's something. Because let's say, for the sake of just argument, Disney has 100 million subscribers worldwide, right? That's like saying, well, Ahsoka had 100 million views through the app because, did they open? I guess what I'm trying to say, like, there's no. How do you figure it out? Like, do you just pull it up and that's a view? Do you hit play and that's a view? Like, how do you? What constitutes a view?
He thinks it's 3 minutes.
3 minutes. That's the opening credit scene. My goodness, Andor was 9 minutes for the opening scene. So like 3 minutes, like Okay, great. You watched it for 3. You got through the opening scene, like the opening credits.
Right.
That's an exaggeration. It's not 3 minutes, but Andor 1000% was like 6 minutes. Like that whole opening scene was like I fell asleep every single time I watched that show. And I had to wake. I set my alarm for 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I had 4.5 minutes where I could take a nap before the show actually started. So I don't know. I don't trust their numbers. I think they'll inflate their numbers to, you know. And then with the whole like going towards the whole ad revenue, I mean that's a whole other issue. Like, are they profitable? And if they are profitable, then why are they having to take money from the advertisers? For the entirety of Disney Plus, there's never been any type of ad service. Or you know what I mean? Like Hulu, right? You can pay extra to eliminate ads.
Yeah, to not have to deal with the ads and stuff.
Disney's never done that. And now they have to, or they're going to in the near future.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
So I don't know. And then how do you do it? Like if you go to the high seas and you're watching it, how do those count as views?
There have been instances where yes, they've counted the high seas downloads and stuff like that as views.
But this isn't on
from
TV.
my understanding too, like they'll count things of like even people negatively talking about it, positively talking about it. They put these all towards the analytics at some point where it's like, yes,
how else are you watching Ahsoka though? Because it's only on Disney Plus. It's not on TV, so you would have to either one have the app or I guess password sharing or something.
Yeah, right.
So that's just why I have a hard time.
And like some people have said like they have like subscriptions to something else and it gives them access to it. So
like what? Hulu?
Well, like people have people have like their Verizon accounts and then that gives them free Disney Plus and stuff like that.
For a year.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust it. I think they'll inflate their numbers to make it look like it's a better show than it is.
Oh, that would not surprise me one bit.
3 minutes is not enough time for you to even watch a show to get a grasp on it. So I don't believe it. I think it's all hogwash.
I mean, that's kind of been my thing with some of this stuff is that it's really hard to really gauge the viewership because of streaming being what it is. So, yeah.
They would have had to have known that it was going to be bad. I just don't see how they could. Oh yeah, this is the greatest thing. This is going to be amazing.
Apparently,
so
Disney
many
has signed an
contradictions.
agreement with some cable company to figure their numbers. I mean, they're going to start delivering at some point, but
yeah,
especially for like the stockholders and stuff. But see, yeah, pretty much. Okay. Good. Well, want to go off of something other than Star Wars?
Are you going to do what I think you're going to do about DC?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to?
No, we can do whatever. I think what I'll do are you going to continue
Possibly,
after 5?
Yeah.
If you do, then I mean I'm still good for.
You got to go soon.
Yeah, here in about 10 minutes. What I'll do is I'll just jump on mobile and I'll join you from the road.
Talk and comment while you can.
Yeah.
Well, here's kind of the thing that I do want to, especially since we got a sizable group right now for the announcement that I kind of put in the title. Next week, there may or may not be Saturday Night Seth. Because next week, on that Saturday, I will be beginning my nice week-long vacation.
There you go.
And those kind of couple of days too are, and happened that time.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
And so I might be taking that day off particularly, and then also Sunday I'm debating something what I might do. But yeah, next week is going to be kind of up in the air because we're going to be doing something particular, getting some food that we want to get, and so it might take us longer. We might do a late stream. I don't know what your availability is going to be for next Saturday. Yeah, just
you
kind
just,
of
you just keep me. Yeah, well, I know. I remember. So yeah, you keep me in the loop, and we'll.
I'll keep you in the loop, and like it is Sunday morning, I might do something kind of rattling something around in my head, but also like Sunday we could probably do like a good old shenanigans around.
Yeah. You just keep you keep close on. Well, if we need to do a late show, we can do it. If you just want to take the day off. You just
I'm gonna figure that out. I'll figure it out throughout the week. But yeah, that's just kind of the announcement about next week. Now I might give more details, but right now I'm keeping it kind of vague.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a big event, so that aside, I just want to at least kind of knock that out just so also you knew. I was gonna tell you one way or another. I got you right here. Firsthand. So for a little topic here, a little away from Star Wars, we're getting a brand new Dragon Ball series. Brand new anime series. Well, it's an anime series, I should say. Dragon Ball Daima, coming fall 2024. And apparently part of the premise from what I'm hearing is they're turning a lot of the main cast into kids. The newest Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Daima, was just revealed to the world during a panel at New York Comic-Con, the world's largest pop culture festival. The reveal included the series' awesome teaser and title logo, which if anybody watched Dragon Ball GT, you're kind of getting some flashbacks, good or bad. The series commemorates the 40th anniversary. This is such a bizarre thing to me to do this for a 40th anniversary. I would think like one giant movie or something, like maybe kind of celebrating and bringing back a bunch of old villains or something, something that could have been kind of cool and neat. 40th anniversary iconic franchise will be released. Comments from Akira Toriyama and Masako Nozawa, the voice of Goku. This here saying, "Hello, I'm Akira Toriyama. I am currently working on a new Dragon Ball. The title is Dragon Ball Daima. Daima is a made-up term, which in Japanese characters would be," and he has the kanji right there, or in English would be something like evil. Due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. In order to fix things, they'll head off to a new world. It's a grand adventure, grand tour, one might say. That's what I'm throwing in. With intense action in an unknown and mysterious world, since Goku has to make up for his petite size, he uses his Naobi power pole to fight, something not seen in a long time. Again, flashbacks to Dragon Ball GT a bit. Things will unfold that close in on the mysteries of the Dragon Ball world. Hope you'll enjoy these different from the usual battles that are cute and powerful. I really don't know with Toriyama sometimes. Wasn't the video for the new series Dragon Ball Daima amazing? Oh, this is comment from the voice of Goku, Masako Nozawa, saying, Goku was so adorable and wonderful. I wonder about the conspiracy behind Goku's new appearance. I'm very curious, but I'm told the details are still a secret. I'll be waiting for the new anime along with all of you. I hope you look forward to it. And then this kind of given the visuals that we see here. And they do have a trailer, which I'm going to get to right now. Let me up on a separate thing. Get that off to the side. Boom. And okay. For Goten and Trunks, we just got them as teenagers, at least like grown-up looking teenagers finally. But I won't lie, like Krillin in the shades, that's kind of cool. That's kind of funny. There you go. Pimp boy Krillin in the Master Roshi shades. Oh wait, or is that Master Roshi?
That's Master
That's
Roshi.
Master Roshi.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I thought people I was taking people at their word. They were saying it's Krillin, but no, that's Master Roshi.
That's Master Roshi. Who was his wife? What was his wife?
Who's
Goku's. No,
Goku Chi-Chi?
Chi-Chi. Does that mean like they're gonna be as kids be
Yeah, they showed her already. Let's see. Chris, I believe that's Marin. That's their daughter. Krillin was somewhere else. Hang on.
Well, we'll finish and all.
Yeah.
But
over again, but in a new skin, basically.
No, in DC did.
They're all except they're all kids, not just Goku. They're all kids this time.
DC did this. There's a comic book. It was like RBW. I forget what it was, but I think it was like Teen Titans in baby form or child form, or it was Justice League. I don't think it was Justice League, but like I've seen this trend before within the comic books where they take like, you know, the characters and make them into this baby art, and it's I don't understand it. Like I'm not a fan of it. I mean, Scotty Young, he's I know him from Marvel. He's done, I think, Spider-Man, or don't quote me on it, but he's an artist for Marvel and writer, and he is well known for baby variants, if you will. So
this is like for the Japanese call it like chibi. That's for
chibi.
Okay. Here we go. Here, hang on. Here's Krillin. There's Krillin right there, because now I see the dots on his head.
Yeah,
he's got the Buddhist markings. Yeah,
why not just let old dogs lie? Why bring it back? Like you could have continued with Dragon Ball Z, but you didn't.
Well, Dragon Ball Super, and I mean, but like that was
you could have continued with Dragon Ball Z, though. You didn't.
Well, the good thing about Dragon Ball GT was at least it was continuing after Z, so we had things moving forward. And I mean, I get it. I have my problems and issues with GT as well, but I mean, there was good that came from that, other than like
they could have
Super Saiyan 4, but like there at least like they tried to throw in some stakes for the series.
You could have
like getting rid of the Dragon Balls and stuff like that early on, and they had to go and find the Dark Star Dragon Balls and all that stuff. So like,
could you not have prolonged Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z though more than what they did? They
couldn't, because Toriyama stopped writing and doing the artwork for it altogether. So, but I mean, like it was
theoretically, if he hadn't, you could have prolonged it.
Possibly,
maybe.
Yeah, he might have been able to come up with some new stories, but
I agree.
For a 40th anniversary, I think they could have done more.
For sure. I agree with what Chris just said.
I'm not a fan of anime going away from hand-drawn animation so much for CG animation. Just doesn't look as good to me. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm much preferred of the original, like, proper. But I mean, that's the thing. That's where everything's going. So
I don't know. I just let old dogs lie, man. Like, why don't like just don't take a good, and this is the problem. I'll use the WWF scenario that I did, when we first started the show. It's like the Attitude Era was the greatest era within, wrestling, and Tim may argue against this open airlock. But in my opinion, because I mean, I was a WCW guy, and then I went WWF, right? The Attitude Era was the greatest. Greatest era within wrestling, hands down, right? And what has happened, and I've said this before, is like you can't replicate it. It's like it's often
No.
replicated, never
It was
duplicated. Right?
for its time. It had its
For
time.
sure. But they can't come up with anything good or anything new. So what do? They get these 70-year-old wrestlers that were prominent, 70 years ago. So it's like Triple H is still in the mix. They brought Stone Cold back. They bring all the legend. They call them legends, as you know. They bring all the legends back to current day. I know wrestling was. I'm saying though, what I'm saying is,
he's meaning a capturing in time, and you can't
right.
replicate
You just
certain.
Right.
You can't replicate certain storylines and stuff like that.
And so with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, like you can't replicate it. And that's why I'd never watched Super, but I thought Super was I already assumed that it was atrocious because you're trying to continue something that was great that ended.
Part of the other problem for Super though is that it's continuing a story in a timeline where we know nothing much was meant to happen. That's part of the problem, is that basically even at the end of Z, it's like Bulma and Vegeta go to visit Goku, and they're like, it's been like, I don't know, I forget the exact amount of time, but it was a good like 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, we haven't seen you. What the fuck? But like the Super series is basically like, oh, they've been staying. Actually, but even Toriyama has basically done a Dave Filoni, and it's been like, oh no, I just kind of see a lot of these other stories as their own little like pocket universes practically. It's like, oh dude, no, don't start that sort of shit, please, God, no, please, no, don't.
So
something along those lines, but no, I agree with you.
The mindset just leave. Yeah.
Well, and the problem, at least the good thing was too, is like for GT, like Vegeta was his fleshed out character. He wasn't repeating his same bullshit from Z that they've done in Super. And I would say like my thing I think was mishandling was keeping Goku involved by turning him into a kid like they did. When he should have been more of like the mentor role, and because he was fully fleshed out, him too, like he should have been that master now. And maybe for like the really major threats is where he'd maybe come in and help. But otherwise he was like a cursory character. He wasn't always involved. He would maybe still help train Oob and Pan, but then that would be like the main thing, and then like the kids would go off on their adventures. So I think that's how that should have been, and kept Goku as an adult and as a master. And I liked his gi, his blue and yellow gi. I thought that was great. That's how it should have been. But last thing I remember was Baby possessing Vegeta and made a other with a black star Dragon Balls to restore his homeworld. That was kind of part of it. Who is Baby?
Really quick, fractured. I'm gonna hop on to mobile really quick.
Bounce out, dude.
I'll be on mobile. Yeah,
Baby possessed Vegeta, and that was kind of the whole thing. Was they brought in the storyline basically introduced in the filler of the anime, the whole Tuffles and stuff like that. And that was actually kind of interesting. That's kind of a good little like callback to history. And what the previous Saiyans, but their muckery still had repercussions. And again, I like I did like, the thing was like, for a lot of GT, there was a lot of good concepts. Some of it was not that greatly executed, but I think it was good for what we got. And hey, Super Saiyan 4 is badass. Spartacus also saying, how would have things been if Goku was kept dead and the story shifted to Gohan? I mean, they tried part of it. We were getting some of that, but I mean, Gohan is an entirely different character. It would have been nice to maybe kind of see how that could have been more dealt with, especially with what we were seeing with how even Vegeta was interacting with him, kind of like being, hey, even though we're in times of peace, you should not be taking it so easy. You should be keeping yourself, and I think that's where it could have been good to have a threat that came to Earth. And Gohan does kind of have to, kind of come to this realization that, yeah, he's that defender of Earth. And while he has to find that balance, right? Where he's both training and still keeping up with his studies. That's more than feasible. But at the same time, it's like he's just not that character. Crimson Raptor, I hate what they did to Gohan in Super. Super, that. Like, I mean, you talk about a timeline with no consequences and stuff like that too. That right there is it. But yeah, what they did to Gohan was rough because they just completely like smacked him over the head and then continued just to wail the shit out of him with a Nerf bat for no reason when they could have. Because I mean, from even what you see of him at the end of the Z, it's like he looked like he kind of was keeping up with this training. So I don't understand why he got so diminished like that. Oh, they just really. But I mean, like people have made the comment, oh, it's the Goku and Vegeta show, and that's exactly what it basically turned into. Because then we got no real side story or no real other stories to feature the other characters, when this probably could have been a great opportunity to do just that. Get some of the side stories of even Piccolo training Gohan, keeping him in shape and all that sort of thing. Just anything, just have the focus maybe shift, kind of do what Toriyama initially was trying to do, but then kick it over in this series. But again, we had to get goofy god transformations and all that. When I do think, like, for what failings, yeah, there was a GT, but like I think for it, like the Super Saiyan 4 form especially, that was probably the right direction for their transformations. I think that was perfect. That was also a callback to their giant monkey form, while given this primal look and everything. It was pretty, like, I fucking loved it. So I don't know if, and we'll be jumping back in, but I've got some other topics. I'm going to give this a shot, see what it's like trying to do some of this shit solo. Super Saiyan 4 will always be better than God. Yeah. Well, and the kind of the neat thing is that, for somebody like Vegeta, who is always about his mentality of surpassing Goku and stuff like that, and trying to still obtain these forms, like he kind of, where he never would have done it before, but I guess you could say he kind of bit down on his pride a bit, and yeah, had Bulma help him reform his tail, and then he too obtained the Super Saiyan 4 form, and then he had his own look to it, which was pretty cool. I just wish we I mean, the fan base itself went freaking insane with with all the different forms. But even Toyotaro himself, who did his own Dojin, and had the Super Saiyan 5 with the crazy white hair and everything. But yeah. Okay, so there's some other things that kind of caught my attention this week. And I'm going to bring this up here. Wait for it. All right, there we go. Crimson Raptor. The only credit I'll give Super with Vegeta is that Goku acknowledged that Vegeta had surpassed him because he had to learn how to obtain God form without the benefit of the ritual. That's true. I mean, in the manga now, it's like, okay, now, so Goku has his Ultra Instinct form, and Vegeta has his Ego form. Which, again, is just like, okay, I mean, people wanted to kind of mock, like, even Super Saiyan 3 for some of its looks, but it's like, Vegeta's basically lost his eyebrows, and that just seemed to be about it. It was more of about basically he's like kind of going Hulk mode, where he's just meant to keep taking. He can just be a tank, but even that doesn't hold out for as long as I guess it probably should have. I don't know. They kind of introduce this new form and immediately gets nerfed back by the villain. I mean, hey, I guess that's subverting your expectations on a new transformation and shit. Okay. So this is something that I always find a little goofy that they've done before in the past with some video game covers, but I thought this was still kind of interesting. So there's the game Princess Peach Showtime. Key art changed over this is done by Niche Gamer. As I say, Nintendo has sneakily changed the key art for the upcoming game Princess Peach Showtime, altering her face structure and expression. The new key art changes Peach to have less of a rounded face, larger eyes, and a larger mouth. This is ultimately results in a change that some fans fear makes her too similar to her movie counterpart. It's unclear if this is intentional. Peach is also more angry in her kung fu costume, and I'll show you this in just a moment. And while these changes look like another case of angry US box art, and I'll show that too, the changes also appear to have made it to the Japanese visuals. This I didn't really catch when I was first grabbing this article. But you can check out the comparisons of the original and altered key visual below. And I'll get the better links for that. You can check out the trailer and rundown on Princess Peach Showtime below. So I won't go through the trailer. I'll just go through the rundown. But Princess Peach must save the day as she takes the spotlight in her very own game. Princess Peach's trip to the Sparkle Theater goes off script when the Wicked Grape and the Sour Bunch steal the show. Partner with the theater's guardian, Stella, to call curtains on this tragedy. By using a powerful ribbon and taking on several starring roles, each with their own look and abilities. Transform to fit the role and use show-stopping abilities to save the day. Bend off the Sour Bunch with sensational sword play as a sword fighter on guard. In another role, Peach puts on her detective hat to find out who done it in a museum mystery. From kung fu master to pastry chef, Peach's roles give you distinctly powerful ways to save the play. What other transformations are just behind the curtain? We get the angry US box art, which was kind of a thing with the American Kirby is hardcore, and as you can see, there's the much more friendly, smiley Kirby with the Japanese cover, and then with the US cover, he got that attitudinally problem going on there. Why Japanese box art is better, Games Radar. Being happy is sometimes rather pleasant, really. Japanese developers understand this mysterious truth, but while they keep trying to export their externally sunny characters to us, we just keep transforming them into gloomy, moody, tough guys. And that's kind of what got here with the two different Kirbys, especially. I mean, this is his own article on the whole idea, and I can link this stuff for anybody interested. Especially if I clip this out, I'll have the links to the article there. But then we get it does take to back, and then that should take me right to the Twitter. So here, and people said to my face, it's just a movie, not like it's gonna affect the actual games. We don't need to Pixarify the Mario universe. Stop it, Nintendo. And try to see it here, but again, let me bring up the larger images to see it much better. Here's the first one. This is the regular. You see this between the two for sure. Like the one that kind of has a more serious look is back here with her kind of the fencing. but even like it is the kung fu and everything, like she in the front posting, well, more friendly, much more smiley. Like she is kind of having more fun with it, and there we go. Here's the alternate one. Can't tell if the back they made her look a little more kind of serious or kind of angry, but then she just kind of have more of a shift on the eyebrows on the front, and then you can definitely see it more with the martial arts one, looking more aggressive and stuff like that. I'm of the mind too. Yeah, I don't see the point. I don't see what was wrong, why they feel the need to. I mean, especially for the idea of the atmosphere of it being a play. I don't think you need to make her seem all angry and or just overly aggressive with that sort of thing. It seems unnecessary. Martial arts one is hilarious. Yeah. You can, so here, boom, here's the regular, and you can, although it's kind of funny when you switch it around, like she does kind of, there's a shift in, like, for some of it, like the on guard one feels like it gets brought up further to the forefront than it was. That could just be because of the alterations. And then yeah, I come on, really. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of some silly alterations being made to a game that is probably meant to be very light and fun. Like it is. It's a play setting, for God's sakes. You don't. That I just thought was a silly little thing for them to do. It's Nintendo, for God's sakes. And it really, what I think also kind of puts me off too is the fact that it's also affecting the Japanese box art. That to me is just showing further signs of Western values and stuff like that creeping in to the companies that are outside, that should not be that this should not be happening to. There should be a degree of separation. The whole point of importing this sort of stuff is that you're getting something from another culture, from another artistic mindset. And we've gone on about this before on here, and it's something that I've been waiting to see happen further and further, and it's unfortunate that it really is coming to light, because yeah, it was kind of like, oh, Japan is the one area of all this sort of nonsense that isn't getting the indoctrination, getting the push for bullshit. And unfortunately, with the popularity rise and stuff like that, that's where it's gonna happen. They start sinking their claws in deeper and deeper, and they're not gonna be the same companies or whatever that's gonna maintain that. So unfortunately, yeah, we're gonna start seeing more changes to box arts, more changes to in-game content, like it was. I was listening to a live stream earlier that Melee Games and Melee K were on. They were bringing up Nintendo's Treehouse, which, if you aren't familiar with that, they have been notorious for taking games like Fire Emblem and changing up the dialogue, changing up interactions between characters and stuff like that, which that just reminded me I need to find those images and post them, because yeah, they are notorious for this sort of shit. And look at what's happened to companies like Sony. They especially moved their headquarters to the US, and they're going further and further down the shitter. And it's sad, because Sony used to have a lot of great games and stuff like that. Their systems were pretty solid, used to be solid, but now they've moved over here, and well, we see what's happening. But a lot of that was happening even before the switch over. Paul Hadoken, how's it going, sir? Glad you can make it. It started a little bit earlier than usual. But yeah, I just want people to be able to make their games the way they want to, not without any of this interference. Yeah, like Crimson Raptor says, give an inch, they'll take a mile. Every time. Happens every time. Again, like I said, it's sad to see because there's a lot of great games that I would certainly. I mean, that's at least a cool thing with modders and stuff like that, is that they've been able to take some of these games, some of these even the old games too, and retranslate them. Give these old games their proper scripts and stuff like that. They just have to do, of course, the necessary thing of making sure the grammar works and stuff like that. But otherwise, you know, you're getting, at least the fans themselves can give some games a proper translation and not have to be forced with the goofy shit. Because what was it like Melee K was mentioning, was like in Fire Emblem there was a girl that basically they just made her do like dragon sounds, like a bunch of growls and stuff like that. This is like, this is what you've changed the character to? Really? I'm trying to see if I can find the images that I'm referring to. I know I've always tried to save this sort of stuff. Let's see, because it's just most especially for people that are always about, you know, showing off other cultures and stuff like that, and appropriation. They screech about it every chance they get, and yet here they are taking another person's artwork and butchering it, be almost unrecognizable for the intent and purpose and stuff like that. Oh, for the but they'll say we're localizing it. We're just localizing it to make it, you know, palatable for that Western audience. What's wrong with that? Meanwhile, you have what was it like, their spring rolls and stuff like that turned in being called hamburgers and crap like that, and they're like, what? And I know we've talked about it on this show too. Asinine shit in the world. Now I just wish I could. I gotta separate a lot of my images. God dang it. Where are you? Problem with not already organizing things. First, get them. Oh well, I just might have to again find them later. I'll post them up online. Oh wait, here we go. So this is what I'm referring to. So like the official English text, you have wag wag sniff sniff, wag sniff wag. Meanwhile, fan translation, the character Velor saying, "I'm so happy, Papa, I love you so much, Papa, Papa," and then it does have the sniff sniff effects. And then again for English text, between with the other character, waggity waggity. Keaton says, "Hey, there goes my tail again." Meanwhile, the fan translation gets, "Why is it like this? How long will it be until you're able to be independent? Well, it's fine. Now you're also a member of this pack." Amazing the differences that comes up with this sort of stuff. This is the problem with when again it's like allowing these people, but then it's not an allowance really, because these people that got these positions, they got their way in. None of the fans themselves that know and how want to do this have gotten in to replace these people. It's just sad. As I know, especially like for the Fire Emblem games, especially the gameplay is awesome. But when you know that they've they've butchered the translations and stuff like that. It makes it really difficult to want to play because you don't know what the actual story is. Because like it is, there's just been too much change to it. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to especially that saved aside so I can later and translation. All right, there we go. Boom, got that saved aside. I'll like it is. I'll definitely post those on X. But yeah, that was at least one thing that I kind of wanted to go into was the goofy alterations to, of all things, just a Princess Peach video game cover box art. It's like, okay, yeah, Kirby, you're trying to make seem more aggressive or whatever, but it just seems so unnecessary with all characters too, Princess Peach. And then now this is gonna be something I'm also not sure how this is gonna work out because technically the video is unlisted, but you get the article that I had on this. Next week, though, I might have to torture Hitman a little bit if we do the stream next week. But here we go. So Apple TV's latest Monarch Legacy of Monsters trailer takes viewers back to 2014's Godzilla. Apple TV released a new trailer for their upcoming Monarch Legacy of Monsters series at New York Comic Con that takes viewers back to 2014 Godzilla. In a press release, Apple TV detailed, quote, following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, Monarch Legacy of Monsters tracks two siblings following in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. It continued, clues lead them into the world of monsters and ultimately down the rabbit hole to Army Officer Lee Shaw, played by Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, taking place in the 1950s and half a century later, where Monarch is threatened by what Shaw knows. The dramatic saga spanning 3 generations reveals buried secrets in the ways that epic, earth-shattering events can reverberate through our lives. Take a look at the trailer below. We will in just a moment. Monarch Legacy of Monsters is co-developed and executive produced by Chris Black and Matt Fraction. I'm unfamiliar with these gentlemen. Matt Shackman directs the first 2 episodes and is an executive producer alongside Joby Harold. And Joby Harold, where have I heard that name before? I hope that's not some Star Wars crossover. And Tori Tunnel from Safe House Pictures, as well as Andy Goddard, Brad Van Aragon, and Andrew Colville. Hiro Matsuoka and Takemasa Arita of the Toho Co., the owners of Godzilla, are also executive producers. So this could at least be a good sign that we're having some people connected from Toho, and especially to be like, hopefully, even though they're producers, they're hands-on in keeping an eye on things. Because I know, last time I remember hearing too, like with the 2014 Godzilla, Toho was very happy with it, even though they still went and made Shin Gojira and everything, but they were, last I remember hearing, unlike the Godzilla 98 with the Godzilla 2014, they were very happy with it. Oh God. Red Hoodwink points out Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Yikes. Doesn't set well, at least with me. Director Matt Shackman recently provided some details about what viewers can expect from the series telling Collider. Quote, I think everybody realized that when you're telling a series, when you're doing a drama series over 10 episodes, okay, so this is going to be 10 episodes, you need to be fully invested in these characters on the ground. That all depends on who you're asking, because I know a lot of people are kind of like, no, screw the humans. We just want to see monsters fighting each other, which I understand. But I mean, a couple of my favorite Godzilla movies in particular, like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the Showa era one, the 74. I enjoy the little human drama on the side, mainly just because you had goofy space alien men that whenever they were shot, injured, or whatever, their face mask or whatever that was hiding them, making them human, revealed that they were really like weird ape alien men. I love that movie. That one's probably one of my favorite, outside of course, like the main original movie and the Godzilla Returns. So their approach was really about telling a monster story from the point of view of the people on the ground, which again, that was what was done for Godzilla 2014. Mixed results from people, especially with the fact, and I understand it, is that how, things were quickly cut away from the monster fights when it was like, come on, no, give us that. But so, which is something that I love doing on Game of Thrones. Oof. He explained, like, I'm far more interested in what's happening in the Lannister army on the ground being burned up and how war is changing. It's the same way of trying to understand what it's like to be the people in San Francisco as the monsters go by. Jackman continued, and sometimes the movies, which are incredible, are focusing there at a higher altitude. They're dealing with Kong versus Godzilla, Shackman detailed. And so we needed to make characters that would pull you through that story, that you would love and care and be concerned about, and then also deliver the excitement of what's happening in the upper atmosphere too, but more from the perspective of the people on the ground. He then declared, quote, they cracked that beautifully. They had a very fresh way in. I think everybody was excited about that from the get-go. People at Apple, people at Toho, people at Legendary, and they're all incredible partners. Shackman also teased the series will include original as well as classic Toho monsters. See, that was at least one of the things that I did appreciate about Godzilla 2014, the original, or I can't say that movie that started the whole Legendary monster verse. Everything has to be a freaking universe now. But the thing that I did appreciate was that we got something of some new designs. I know a lot of people were comparing the Mutos to the Cloverfield monster for some reason. I think mainly because of how they walked around. I personally didn't like Cloverfield, so I didn't really care for that aspect. But I mean, I that was the thing that I liked, was that they created new monsters. We weren't rehashing old monsters that have already been used to death, and that was then part of my problem when it came to King of the Monsters. Was that okay? Now we got Mothra, we got Rodan, and we got Ghidorah, which was basically like, I kept saying that movie was basically like a retread of Ghidorah the three-headed monster from that era. Also, I couldn't stand the fact that they shoehorned in the oxygen destroyer. That was some bullshit right there. But I was preferring getting to see some new monsters. Instead, we got retread of old monsters. All right, fine. So one of the great things about this was the chance to create new titans, new monsters to add to the monsterverse. So that's a part of it. He added, using folks that we know and love from before. It is part of it, and I don't want to say too much so that you can be excited about what you see when you watch it. The series is part of the Legendary Entertainment's MonsterVerse that began 2014 film Godzilla. It continued with Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. Along with the Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the story continues with the upcoming Godzilla Kong New Empire. The series' first 2 episodes will debut on Apple Plus on November 17th. Subsequent episodes will debut every Friday through January 12th. There are 10 episodes total. And I can't speak for Hitman, but I know I will be watching this. I don't know. Might be a time where I might actually try and do some reviews. Be on my own, maybe not on Saturday Night Sith, just because like it is. I know I'm definitely the Godzilla fan, and who knows, maybe I'll like try and drag my brother into it. But I might actually try and do some reviews for this series because there's one. I mean, it's like if there's things that I have a real soft spot for, it'd be Godzilla, Dragon Ball, and Back to the Future. Definitely some series I have like this real soft spot where I almost will be like, I'll get into it. So yeah. But now let me just go away from that. We'll check out this trailer. I did already kind of watch it earlier today, so this isn't gonna be like a clean reaction. I'd compare them to a staple remover. Same, honestly, waiting for Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1 looks really good. I'm really curious about that one. It seems to be kind of a retelling of the original Godzilla movie. So hopefully I'm hoping it's going to be good because Shin Gojira was kind of a mixed bag. Like there were some cool ideas to it, but like some of it was just kind of meh. Like they were trying to be too quirky and stuff like that with it, especially with like the human elements of that one. Some of it I didn't disagree with some of the kind of themes they were going for, especially with the idea of Japan trying to, protect itself, but working around. What up? What up for you, brother? Just doing this thing solo right now. Hitman had to bounce, so I'm still trying to cover a few things. About to go into a trailer for the Monarch Legacy of Monsters. All right, so I turn back on the volume so I can hear things. Okay.
The world is on fire.
Monarch was there in San Francisco.
This I will say is kind of cool that we're getting a little extra perspective of when Godzilla was attacking, or not attacking, but when he was arriving in the San Francisco Bay.
When the whole city was coming down, these guys were taking pictures, like they'd been waiting for it.
You think that your father was working for them?
This stuff was in a safe.
Who are they? What's Monarch?
So there we kind of do see some more bouncing around in time, obviously, with at least with the look, unless I'm completely mistaken on that.
This is the world we live in. Monsters are an inescapable reality.
Those files belong to us, and they are more important than you could possibly imagine. This is gonna give me nightmares. Now, you can choke down that Monarch lie.
My one hope is that he doesn't turn it, that they're just going to turn him into the villain of the series. I do hope that he's going to be something of a good guy protagonist. It felt like Kurt Russell got kind of done dirty a little bit in like Guardians of the Galaxy too. Hopefully his character is solid through this.
About your father disappearing. Or we can find out what really happened before it's too late.
I wonder if this is supposed to be the Muto, some of the Mutos and stuff. Oh wait, no, they show them. Hang on. I almost thought these were like some of the Muto stuff in the first movie.
Oh my God! Go! This world, it's not ours. Believe me.
I wonder how much it's been a long time since I've watched Kong Skull Island, so I don't know if this is directly from the movie itself, or if this is like new scenes with John Goodman in it. Like if he's going to be part of it.
So much more vast than we could possibly imagine.
These monsters and Monarch have taken everything from me. No more.
The world is on fire. If we want to save millions of lives, we can use some help.
So this bit right here made me instantly think of the 64 Godzilla versus Mothra, because like it shows him prior to this coming up from the ground. Hang on, let me see if I can find. Yeah, like right about here, they do show that we got Godzilla popping up out of the ground, and if you've watched that movie, it's basically, yeah, he's like, they had in the Mothra versus Godzilla movie, the whole sea had been kind of drained in that particular area, and Godzilla was underneath the ground and just rises up from it. I'll try and find the Twitter post that had that too. I'm also noticing that they've got the design, at least for like Godzilla's spines on this back to the 2014 look, because for King of the Monsters they rounded the dorsal plates out a bit, because that was the director. I remember in an interview the director was putting his touch on the Godzilla design, which isn't unheard of for the Godzilla movies, because every Godzilla movie from the old days, not every one, but a lot of them, they had to keep making new suits to use, and some of them were overused to the point where you saw in the movies pieces of it were falling off. So this trailer definitely kind of makes me interested in the series. I'm a bit interested. I think I will be watching this and checking it out. Even though I haven't liked everything that they've done with the whole legendary Godzilla, this to me is looking pretty good. Although, like Sheefster points out, or act like he's the main person in the movie and drop him less than halfway through for Kurt Russell. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Hopefully they keep him. I mean, the way it's looking is that he's gonna be over this 10 episode run, but who knows? This could be all from like the first episode, so that wouldn't surprise me. But hopefully, here's hoping. Shut up. I saw what you said there, Sheepster. Shut up. Hopefully hopefully it's good. I wanted to. God, this is like with Star Wars. I'm hoping it's gonna be good. I really, really do. I want it to be good. I like Godzilla. It's been one of my favorite properties. Yeah, Red Hoodwink. I'll give it a shot too, at least just to see what the way it starts out. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully. Because that if it's not, then I'll just wait for Godzilla minus for that to just wait. I'll just wait for the Godzilla -1, and I'll that one definitely looks good. The look is definitely kind of a mixture of Godzilla looks. They had in the trailer they played the original roar from the 54, so that always makes me go, oh hey, cool. Sucker for that sort of thing. I'll just kind of go back to the comments. Red Hoodwink was saying, saw the trailer suggested to me, but I haven't seen it yet. Looky, also, I saw somewhat excited for this. Working around. I loved Godzilla growing up. I would go to the library just to rent the old Japanese movies VHSs. Nice. I always remember getting always renting out the books. They had like some of these old maybe I could try and find them online just to kind of show off what I'm talking about. But I remember always renting out these old books that had scenes of some Godzilla movies, even that I hadn't yet gotten to see yet, or just the fact that they were there and I could just always just look at the pictures and have fun going through those old monster books, because sometimes they also included like other movie monsters and everything, King Kong and all that stuff. So those were always some of the ones that I grabbed for sure. And then like it was going to the local video rental place and renting the old Godzilla movies on VHS as well. Yeah. I'm gonna have to top watch Godzilla versus Kong. Where's Mothra? Well, Mothra might make an appearance. She's still around. It looks like it goes through all the movies that came before. Maybe like the one they had the pit looked like Godzilla King of the Monsters when Ghidorah was coming out from the ice cap. That might have been part of it. Static saying they got Goodman looking a bit healthier than he was. Okay, so maybe that is some new scenes. Also didn't realize it was a series. Oof, gonna suck. You don't know. It might not. Forking around. What's your favorite of the 3 movies? The 3 legendary movies? I mean, I don't know which of the 3 I would say would. I don't know. Maybe it would have to be kind of Godzilla King of the Monsters, even though I have a lot of problems with that, just for the fact that it has a lot of a little more of the fight scenes that go on with it are a little better. But then like the remixed music, I wasn't too big on too. So I'd probably lean more towards 2014. Because I mean, hey, that finishing move at the end on the last Muto was just definitely one of my favorite moments, and especially like I almost wanted to jump up out of my seat in the theater when I went and saw it in 3D and everything. When the first time you get his dorsal plates charging and lighting up, and then you get the fire blast, and it's like, yes, we've gotten the legit fire, not that bullshit from the 98 movie. So I might lean towards the 2014 Godzilla, because like it is in King of the Monsters, it really cheesed me off them bringing in all for like a name drop in my book, and the director going, oh, see, look, I've watched the old movies too, of the oxygen destroyer, which to me is a very symbolic weapon, or just a weapon of that is meant to have a lot of weight to it, because that was the thing that killed Godzilla in the original movie. And it was a weapon that created by Dr. Serizawa, was something that he, you know, killed himself to keep the secrets out of other people's hands, to keep the blueprints out of anybody else's hands. It was a very significant thing, and to just throw it in there all for the attempt of trying to attack Godzilla, where I mean, if anything, after Godzilla versus Kong, with the way he was going ham on all those different places where there were the whole weapon was being used, that would have been maybe more of an opportunity to use it on him. But in my opinion, I didn't like how that just got thrown in there. And while I did like the fights in Godzilla Kong, especially just the way Godzilla kept rocking fucking Kong all over the place, even though they did kind of trade off here or there. But my big problem with that movie is how they basically threw in Mechagodzilla for the sake of throwing in Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla to me is the like main villain kind of character. You don't just throw in Mechagodzilla just to go, hey, look, we've got Mechagodzilla. That's something that you do introduce, yes, but like that's should be the central monster that Godzilla is up against, not sharing the screen with Kong. It should have just been the focus on those two, perhaps, and then maybe you could have brought in, like, bringing in like a B. I always said this, actually, bring in a B-lister, bring in a Megalon, bring in a Gigan. Still some interesting design monsters, or particularly like Gigan, since Ghidorah was from space. You could have brought in Gigan, who's a dangerous looking enough monster, and had him be the final end movie villain. That would have been perhaps maybe a much better way to go about it, and maybe hint at Mechagodzilla and then bring that villain in for the next following movie, sort of thing. Not just be a flash in a pan. All right, yeah, we got Mechagodzilla. Here you go. Working around is pumped for Godzilla minus 100%. I hate for them to make Godzilla woke. I'd never forgive them for it. I mean, whatever you define for woke. 'Cause I mean, for some people, they were bothered by King of the Monsters with the whole environmentalist message, yet they have already done that with Godzilla versus Smog Monster. It was heavy on the environmentalist message and stuff like that, which funnily enough did get the director blacklisted for ever making another Godzilla movie again. So with some of at least they did cut, to their credit, they cut some of the really goofy shit that they did have in Godzilla King of the Monsters that was in there, particularly like with the little girl, with the Stranger Things girl. They were gonna have some bullshit in that movie, but thankfully they cut it out. I don't know if you ever watched like some of the deleted scenes, but I was also just kind of bummed like we didn't get Charles Dance back in King of Godzilla Kong. Sheefster, I did like Godzilla vs. Kong because he was such a beast and it whipping that monkey's ass. I did like that part of it. Yeah, there were some of the cheesy bits too in Godzilla vs. Kong that I actually liked, and to me, I would like a little bit of fun. I love the Showa era Godzilla movies. Those are just some fun monster movies. 100%. And like I said, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the original, is my absolute favorite. Monkey Spaceman, and King Caesar and all that shit, fantastic. I love it. Forking around, King of the Monsters is my favorite. Get rid of the human stuff and it's perfect. Get rid of I mean, some of it wasn't bad. I mean, like I didn't like that they killed off Serizawa. I liked his character, but some of it wasn't bad. I also wasn't too keen on the remixing of some of the music personally. Like some of it didn't sound half bad, but I would have I was glad that they finally brought in some of the original score and stuff from the old Japanese movies, but it just wasn't too big on some of the remixes, and I did not like what is it, Surge from System of a Down's version of Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. And we finally got that in a Godzilla movie, and I would have much preferred the original. Red Hoodwinked, I'd say King of the Monsters, but that's mostly because of King Ghidorah. The humans kind of bring you out of the movie, though. Yeah, no, I get that 100%. Like, I didn't mind aspects of it. The guy trying to reconnect with his daughter and trying to get her away from her crazy mom and shit. But yeah, it had some decent. My problem too was how they kind of I mean, I guess I get it. You're changing, you're adapting, changing things up. I guess I don't know if it was meant to be ironic or whatever, but like the fact that Rodan was coming out from a volcano, and yet in the original Rodan movie, that's what killed the pterodons, the pterodon Rodans in that movie was a volcano. So, And then it was just so weird, the whole regeneration thing for Ghidorah, when especially when Godzilla ripped one of its heads off and shit. It's like, what the hell? But I mean, it is just kind of funny how they gave extra powers to a monster that was already meant to be pretty beefy and powerful and dangerous and stuff like that. That's why it always took in like the original movies, it took multiple monsters to take down Ghidorah. Forkin of saying Kong being a weird magic Thor guardian ruined for me. I like the idea that they are just territorial monsters. I do too. Some of that was really, especially like was the sign language little girl talking to the giant monkey. But I mean, they were trying to, for one, I mean, they had to really beef up Kong to make him a threat. And I mean, I guess, yeah, it was kind of weird though, like especially like having the axe of one of the Godzilla dorsal plates that fucking Kong could use to. But I mean, I think that kind of gets into the kind of like silliness of like the old Showa stuff, and I like I said again, like I like when Godzilla kind of did that laugh, which again also reminded me of the old Showa movies and stuff. So, but apparently that got the director into a bit of trouble because apparently Toho did not like that. Sheefster, yeah, Mecha Goji is, and that was kind of meh. Yeah, meh. Static, they have been trying to push agenda. Yeah, but the term global warming is a specific term to push an agenda. Yeah, like I said, I saw what they were doing at the. I mean, like that is such more of a modern term, and like it was. I don't know. I guess I'm being kind of apologetic to it because of, like I said, because of the Smog Monster movie. That one's just so, but I mean, that movie at least is so wacky and trippy and psychedelic in weird ways, and the Japanese doing their weird way of like messaging, I guess it just kind of comes off more humorous. So, like and even like they did that too with Godzilla, the Heisei era Godzilla versus Mothra, where again they were doing some kind of. Not some, but they were doing some heavy-handed environmentalist messaging in that too. I guess it's because the there's always been something of kind of like, I don't know if I want to say like political statements, stuff like that, but I mean, yeah, like the original Godzilla is the whole warnings of nuclear war and stuff like that. The discovery of new things, and then like kind of like how it is, how quickly they are to destroy it, and the dangers of creating new weapons and all that. I mean, that in of itself has its own political message. It people like originally misinterpreted it as an anti-American sort of thing, but that was not the case. Static saying nothing against wanting to protect the environment, but global warming is political. Oh, I agree. That especially that particular, yeah, that particular term is very politically charged. Because otherwise, yes, yeah. Because even in like the Jurassic Park novelization, they have a bit on it, but I think it's kind of funny because it's handled through Ian Malcolm being high on morphine. But like he points out very clearly, it's all what we need. Yes, you can focus on you can want to do your part to, you know, not pollute and all that sort of stuff, but the main thing that it ends up, like he points out, is like, first and foremost, the earth will always be here even once we're gone. What we need to work on is like ourselves and basically trying to get along on this ball of earth, on a dirt ball, because we're stuck with each other for now. Sadek saying there has always been hippie movies, Fern Gully and shit like that. I know about Fern Gully. I've never watched it though. I always remember the trailer for that movie on some of the old VHSs that I used to rent back in the day. I forget for what movies, but I remember that popping up occasionally. Forking around, somehow the evil mother is redeemed because she wants to protect the environment. This is more of her just trying to protect her family. At least that's how she kind of was redeemed at the end of the movie. She sacrificed herself to get Ghidorah away from her daughter and the father. God, I gotta rewatch it, I guess. But she was more protecting her family than anything, which I guess she kind of took on a masculine role in that aspect. But there's always been aspects of King of the Monsters that kind of bugged me. The messaging didn't bother me in the movies, just the humans. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Is the humans that bothered people for the Godzilla movies. Which again, I get it. Like some of the drama and stuff that they do, it can be kind of stupid. I think it's mostly like it is for some of the Western stuff that just comes off as, for us especially, it's kind of dumb and pointless. When it's just like, give us our monsters, we want to see them fight. But I've enjoyed like Godzilla versus Monster Zero, the freaking space aliens and their mannerisms and stuff like that, and then just the interactions between the humans and them, and then the humans helping and discovering a way to defeat the aliens and send them off with a very obnoxious, annoying sound device created by this weird inventor. I mean, I think you could do some good, some fun, some entertaining stuff with the humans. It just has to be just the right sort of thing to work with it. Otherwise, kind of the main thing. So yeah, I think I'll call it here. Got an extra hour, 26 minutes, give or take, going over that stuff. That was fun. Talking some Godzilla. Kids infiltrating top secret bases always ruins the story. Hated it in Godzilla versus Kong. That, oh god, now you're reminding me of that. Shit, that's right. Yeah, that and then them palling around with like the weird conspiracy theorist dude or whatever. That stuff was really just kind of like I was able to ignore it for the most part, but yeah, I think I got really distracted by the Godzilla and Kong fighting it at times. I'm still disappointed that Godzilla did not do the tree maneuver to Kong for kind of that old revenge. Instead, Godzilla still got that treatment. Was gay. Static. Oh, how about Brie Larson not being completely insufferable? That's the funny thing. Like I barely remember going through Kong Skull Island. That she didn't quite pop up on my radar. So I'm gonna have to maybe watch that again sometime. Wookie just downloaded King and Godzilla versus Kong. Oh, Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong. Nice. I have those on I think I have those downloaded too. I'll have to watch them again a little more closely. The fights were cool. I don't blame you. Yeah. Like I said, it was kind of funny because they had like backs and forth. Godzilla won, then Kong won, and then Godzilla was the ultimate victor of the last fight. So I was like, okay. He gave Godzilla the W. I mean, that's how it should be. Skull Island is Static's favorite. Oh, okay. Forkin, or she was hot in that Static. Being hot helps. It helps. So yeah, I'll as this that extra final. I'll dude, Brie is hot. She's just nuts. I mean, you know, when you got the crazy going, that's kind of a detraction right there. All right, guys. This has been fun. I can run a show on my own. I might consider this. Fun talking Godzilla for the last bit there. I've covered my topics that I want to cover. Thank you all for showing up. Static, Forkin, Sheefster is hanging around. Red Hoodwinked, Wookie, Jason was here. Crimson Raptor, thank you. Skirmitar popped in at the earliest. Didn't make a return. Spartacus, thank you. Oh, you just had to bring that up, Crimson Raptor. Talk about how Rey is the greatest Jedi of all time. You said you would. No, I did not. Don't gaslight me on this shit. But yeah, thank you all for showing up. Hope you smash the like button and all that jazz. Like I said, I might consider the idea of doing some reviews for Godzilla for the Godzilla TV show. We'll see. And next week, like I said, may or may not be doing we may not be doing Saturday Night Sith next week. May kind of drop some details on particularly why, other than my vacation starts that day. Yeah. It's Red Hood. It says, thanks for the stream, Fractured. I enjoyed the talk too. Later, everyone. Later. You all have a great evening. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm going to have a nice week-long vacation. I'm probably doing other gaming streams and whatnot. And Raptor. Oh, my bad. It was Sabine you said was the GOAT. I'm not falling for that. Duke Devil got me enough times for that sort of shit. So with that, guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being in the chat and keeping things happening. Thank you. Yeah, I might. I was thinking about joining you guys on that Sunday. I'm just gonna also be maybe doing a stream in the morning. I'm thinking. We'll see. Anyways, thanks again. Y'all have a great evening. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, We can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah. But I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring. The one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah. But you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate, yeah. That put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage!